Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you students. This is Assistant Professor Ishani Trivedi from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Okay students, so we have been discussing regarding the different costs related to the equipment. Meaning till now we were discussing about the finance related to the different type of construction equipment. We talked about depreciation, we talked about salvage value, we talked about cost of owning and operating. We also discussed one example regarding purchasing or hiring the equipment, right? So now all of the basic type of numerical are done over here. Now we are going to move forward with the certain basic definitions, the engineering fundamentals regarding the equipment, and then we will move forward to the classification of equipment in depth, in detail, and we will be discussing all of the construction equipment in depth according to which is required to be studied. So before directly moving to the equipment part, classification part, we will first discuss some engineering terms, engineering technical terms, fundamental terms related to construction equipment. Right? Now, why do you need to discuss this? Why do we require fundamentals? What are these fundamentals which we are talking about? Right? So, first of all, if we are dealing with a heavy construction work, right? Suppose if you are going to construct a G+10 storage building, for that, starting from the very basic step, that is the excavation work, up to the completion work, right? A lot of activities are involved, right? In which there will be civil engineer, there will be structural engineer, there will be laborers of different categories, different levels. We will have skilled operators, we will have unskilled operators, right? To operate different type of equipment, we will require number of workers for the same. So, to handle a heavy construction project, it generally requires for the site engineer, for the civil engineer to find out, to calculate that how much amount of quantity of material has to be excavated, has to be moved, has to be removed before commencing the site work, before the construction of the site work. So, for this particular thing, first of all, we are going to talk about certain definitions related to soil as well, because ultimately we are dealing with the soil. Talking about the first equipment, construction equipment, which is very much important for us, is excavator, right? And excavation process is the very first process for any kind of construction, right? For any kind of construction. So for that, it is necessary to calculate that what type of soil you are going to deal with, what type of construction equipment will be required, what will be the changes that will be undergoing into the soil, right? The soil will undergo large amount of changes when you excavate it, when you move it, when you place it, when you fill it, when you compact it, right? So to discuss that, first of all, when you are discussing about a new construction project, we have to consider three things. First is the total quantity of the material to be excavated or to be moved. Second, the rate at which it must be moved, right? You are not supposed to take 1 month or 2 months to remove the amount of soil. It will be in huge quantity, it will be in huge amount, right? So the rate at which the material has to be removed has to be calculated, right? In terms of speed, in terms of pace. Next, we have a size of the individual pieces, right? It is also to be noted that if you are dealing with the soil which is completely in dust form, if you are dealing with the gravel or with the boulder, so to find out the average size, so that accordingly construction equipment can be placed. I am showing you or flashing you an image over here. You can see how large scale excavation is being taken place with the help of excavator. Now I am going to discuss about one term related to the equipment. Now please note students, all of these technical terms will be common for any type of construction equipment, meaning any type of locomotive, any type of vehicle which is used in the excavation or in any construction work, right? For all locomotives, for all automobiles which are used, there are certain technical terms which has to be studied first, because when we'll be talking in detail about different equipment, these words will be coming. So first, we are going to discuss about payload. What is payload? First term, payload capacity of construction, excavation and hauling equipment can be expressed volumetrically or gravimetrically, right? We have two terms, volumetrically, gravimetrically. Payload meaning the amount of volume it can carry, it can excavate and it can fill. That is the payload of the vehicle. The amount which it can extract, it can excavate. So the payload will be expressed in terms of volume. Now volume can be done in two ways. It will be volumetrically, it will be gravimetrically. Volume, you know what is volume, but in terms of gravimetric capacity, it means the total operational weight. The total operational weight to be taken by the help of vehicle. And if we talk about volumetric capacity, meaning how much quantity of soil, how much quantity of earth it will take, right? Then if you want to express it volumetrically, then we have three types of volume to be calculated. We have loose cubic meter, we have banked cubic meter, and we have compacted cubic meter. We will be discussing these three in detail as well. So we have two ways to calculate the payload of the vehicle, meaning the quantity, the capacity of the vehicle. Now let us move forward. The soil properties to be considered. I think students, you have studied all of these soil properties in detail in your soil mechanics, but we are going to have an overview and look through all the properties, because sometimes this can be asked in your descriptive exams as well. So what are the properties which we are going to deal regarding the soil? First, we have compressibility. You know the meaning of compressibility, meaning when you apply compressive force. When you apply compressive or crushing force, the property of the soil for reduction in volume due to downward force. Meaning when the vehicle will move on the surface of the road, be it soft road or soil or anything, the compressive load will be applied and there will be reduction in its volume. So to calculate that, we have to take into account compressibility. Next we have is elasticity. You know this property. This is generally observed in the clayey soil, right? Elasticity means when the vehicle will move, when the locomotive or the equipment will move on the soil, it will undergo elastic deformation, and its ability to return back to its original state partially or fully is elasticity. Next we have is capillarity. It is related to the capillary pores, the water holding capacity of the soil. Next we have is shearing resistance, right? The ability of the soil or the property of the soil to resist the slippage when force is applied on it, meaning its resistance to shear. Whenever the vehicle is moving on the soil, some kind of resistance will also be applied by soil. That is your shearing resistance. Next we have is internal friction. Internal friction means the property of the soil which is going to let two particles get stick to each other. Internal friction, resistance of soil particles to sliding over each other, meaning if there is internal friction between the particles will get stick together, and when the vehicle will move on it, they will tend to resist the moving of equipment. They will tend to resist the moving of equipment. So that is resistance of soil particles to sliding over each other, because they will stick together. Next, cohesion of soil grains. You know the meaning of cohesion and cohesionless. So the resistance of soil particles to pulling one away from another. In the friction, it resists to roll over each other, and in the cohesion, it will not let it break, it will get stick together. Somewhat friction and cohesion will be related to each other. Now why we are studying these properties? Because when the vehicle moves on the surface of the soil, when excavation takes place, you would have seen that it becomes very difficult to move the tractor on the surface, right? Uneven topography, large amount of soil, large amount of boulders, but still, though whatever the difficulty, you move your equipment on the surface, right? Isn't it? Sometimes it happens that the vehicle comes back, right? Because sometimes it also happens that it may get stuck in the soft soil, right? Because of all these things which take place, we have to study the different properties of soil. Next we have is shrinkage. I think you know the meaning of shrinkage. When you move the equipment on the fine grained soil, the water gets reduced, the water gets removed from the soil pores and the soil can shrink. That is shrinkage. Next, consolidation. Compaction and consolidation, you know what is that, but still let us see. In fully saturated soil, once the soil is fully saturated, if it exists in natural condition, then when the equipment is moving, it can happen that expulsion of water, meaning removal of excess of water. Once the pores are full, once it is fully saturated, the excess of water may come out, may expel from the soil particles, and that can cause a problem. So we have to study the consolidation. Next we have is permeability. What is permeability? It is the ability of water to flow from the soil under the effect of gravity, right? More the permeable soil, more the amount of water will flow under the effect of gravity. Next, settlement, that is the compressibility of the soil, settlement of the soil. So you have to find out what kind of soil you are dealing with so that settlement can be determined. Okay. Now, moving to the next two terms. Let us keep till here today, but we will still study about two more terms. That is swelling and shrinkage. Now, what is swelling and what is shrinkage? As I told you, when we talked about the different properties right now, we had seen that it so happens that when the fully saturated soil is dealt with and you move the equipment, then excess of water may get expelled from it, right? So that happens in the case when you are dealing with fully saturated soil. Now what if you are dealing with clayey soil, right? For example, black cotton soil or any type of clayey soil, right? What is its main property? It can expand excessively and it can shrink excessively, right? But when you are carrying out the excavation work, at such times if problem takes place, then you will have to consider it because the soil will be in very large quantity. So let us talk about the three types of volume and how swelling and shrinkage affects our excavation work. So volume and density, right? Two things. Volume and density of the earth undergo considerable changes when the earth is excavated, when it is removed, or when it is filled, or when it is compacted. That's obvious thing. So two properties are to be considered, volume and density. So now volume can be measured. I told you already in the starting that volume can be volumetrical, it can be done in three types. We have original volume, we have loose volume, we have compacted volume, which we discussed in the starting. So you have to define these three things again. First, bank measure volume. Bank measure volume means the measurement of the soil, the volume of the soil measurement in its original state, in its original position. Second, we have is loose measure volume. It means once the excavation is done, it will have gone definitely some amount of changes. The volume may be reduced, the volume may be increased because you are moving it from its natural state. You are making it in undisturbed condition, from undisturbed condition to disturbed condition, right? So that will be your loose measure volume. And the third is your compacted volume, meaning once you excavated the soil, once you transported it and then you are settling it, compaction will be done to reduce it, to compress it, to settle it. So that will be your again new volume, the changed volume, that will be your compacted volume. Remember the three definitions to be done. Next, so how do you define swell and shrinkage? So when you are carrying out these activities of excavating and placing and filling, the increase in volume due to loosening, right? We have loose measure volume, correct? So the increase in volume, it happens that in most cases when you take the soil from undisturbed to disturbed condition, its volume changes. In most cases it increases. So if the volume increases, it means it will expand, the volume will be more, the quantity will be more, and that particular phenomenon is known as swelling. And it is expressed as percentage of original undisturbed volume. It will be in the form of percentage, right, from the original volume. And shrinkage, reduction in volume due to compaction. Once the soil layer is removed, it is excavated and placed at another leveled surface, and then rollers are moved on it, it is compacted, because ultimately you are going to compact it at last, right? You have to make a leveled surface. So again its volume is going to change, it is going to decrease, right? So you are taking it back to compacted mode, and here the volume will decrease. So that phenomenon is referred to as shrinkage. Okay, I have also shown you an example that how difficult it seems to be excavating in the clay soil. You can see over here. So it is generally done in a very large scale. That is why all of these properties are important for us. Now students, we are going to discuss certain more technical terms related to equipment in the next session. Till then, please remember all of these definitions so that so students, we are going to discuss more definitions, more technical terms which are even a little bit complex in the next session. Till then, please remember all the definitions which are done today. We will meet in next session. Have a good day students. Thank you.